Alright, it's 1 in the morning, Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. I was planning to make my first video sooner than this, but with everything that happened in Japan, I've been a little bit brain fried, I guess you'd say. So I'm gonna do a little spiel right now. First thing I'd like to say is that to everyone in Japan, our thoughts are with you. It's horrible what you're going through. The earthquake was a massive catastrophe. I don't think people really understand what a 9.1 is really gonna do to just basic infrastructure, pipes and electrical and things like that. And then you have the tsunami on top of it. And, if anyone who's been at the beach and gotten slammed by like a 3-foot wave or a 4-foot wave, it's not really fun, and you think that this is a 33-foot wave that's carrying cars and other buildings and trees and things. I don't think we're ever probably going to know how many people actually died. And then, we have this thing going on with the Fukusima reactors. I've been talking to a couple of my friends out here, and the first video when it happened, you can see, if you look really close, you can see the inner containment facility, or what looks like the top of the inner containment dome, being launched about 100 feet into the air and shifting probably, I don't know, 25 to 50 feet. Whether that's what actually happened or not, it's hard to say because we don't have accurate pictures really. I've seen a few of the pictures, and I don't know. As to now there's fires and explosions in at least 2 other, well, 1 blew up first, 3 had an explosion, and that was the one where you see the giant column going up into the sky. In that one, you can see giant pieces of equipment falling back down out of the cloud. Like on Alex Jones, that could be the spare rods that were, or the spent rods that are stored above the top of the containment dome or inside the outside shell of the facility. There is, the fires, I don't know if we've ever had a fire that is dealing with that, burning that type of material to where we know what's going to happen. I lived in Tucson back in the 90s, and there was a pool supply store that started on fire, and in the back of the building, if I remember correctly, there was a couple of semis that were storing, chlorine and different things like that, pool chemicals, and they had to evacuate like 40 square blocks or something. It was ridiculous. And realistically, they should have evacuated probably 2 to 3 miles in every direction. But of course, at that point, they weren't really worried about that. They were just trying to put the fire out. So, the fact that the fuel rods are burning is so bad that I don't think we even know what kind of things that's going to cause. If you want to look at some of what can happen, there's a great video on YouTube that is the Chernobyl disaster incident. I will have it linked on my YouTube site here shortly. Phenomenal. It goes into the fact that, they had 100,000 people working there within the first 10 or 12 days. It's just insane, and that was a reactor that was shut down or at 12 to 15% of capacity And the problem with that style of reactor was that it was very unstable at very low output. So when they tried to do that, they ended up having a malfunction, and it caused it to basically detonate and blow the entire core of the reactor into the sky. And if you watch the videos, you'll see where they on the roof of the adjacent part of the structure, they had to go out, and they could only go out on the roof for 15 to 30 seconds at a time, and that was their, you know, daily or twice a day limit of what they could be exposed to. And most of them still died. You know, sometimes some of these people could only went on the roof 4 times in the space of a week, and they still ended up with serious cancer and different things. So, like I said, I don't think we have any idea what's really going to happen with that fire. So, um, as far as to, there's a lot of rumors about HARP causing it. I personally think that it's a possibility. I haven't seen any real hard evidence. Um, the fact that it was approximately 6 miles deep, it goes into the number theory of, you know, correspondence. There's 6 miles is 10 kilometers, which is the sexagesimal system, 610. You have the 10-meter wave, which is 33 feet, which 33rd degree of the Freemasons. You know, there's little number coincidences that keep showing up, which makes me more curious than other things. But as far as evidence to who was behind it, or whether it was caused by a HARP or something else, don't know. Something else that people also need to be aware of. I mean, you know, everybody was complaining when Cliff High's tipping point didn't seem to really appear. But if you look back at what was going on, you know, the tipping point incident, as he described it, it wasn't one single thing that happened. As he explained, it was several different things that were going to happen between that point in November and through to the beginning of January. Now, that a lot of that stuff, there was, you know, the New Zealand quake happened and all this, and then it led up to, there was all the Egypt and Libya and all of the protests and riots going on all over the Middle East and all over Europe. You know, if you go back and look at November and December, there was all kinds of riots throughout France and England and Spain and well, I guess Spain didn't have that many, but all over Europe there was protests and riots going on.